Oh, yeah, Jesus. I can't believe how, he's got I know, yeah, he's counting on that, but I told him,
It's a nice property.
yeah, it's cool.
Serves a purpose for him.
Yeah, he seemed to really like it up there. But that's what he said about his last property, you know, Troy, it's his forever home until
That's one.
changes his mind.
He'll look good up there.
Yeah.
Another week and a half.
That's pretty,
This one just wanted having a apartment or 6 or 8 horses.
yeah, no one to work.
No more boarding.
Now, yeah. Too much work, too much headache.
Filming for a long time.
You know, it's like, it's insane, it's a dude now, John, he cries all the time. You know, it's
He's developed a name, you know, as a good review person.
You got you got the best, development improvement in Bucks County out there in Bristol Township. So we had one project, I did 2 projects yesterday. Okay. This year we had 3 projects, so council last month. Production county. How many houses have now? How long you get them in?
No, fully engineered plan.
Okay. Fully engineered. I mean, probably turn around in like 30, 45 days. And that's lengthy compared to what we were turning something around 2-3 weeks, but volume's good.
Doing a lot of industrial stuff.
Commercial, yeah.
Oh, I figured you were.
Yeah, not, I mean, look, besides 2 and 4 lot subdivisions, there has been
She needs all the help she can
yeah, that's the DJs came out from days of old.
get. Simple, right? We were smiling after that. They gonna give me 100.
He won't,
Yeah, actually I was for the start.
I mean,
I'm happy with that.
Some of it started, we're not sure how much.
and frankly.
We'll see about tomorrow, or Sunday.
Numerous senators, they always want to see a plan and when it's adopted, like essentially the same way.
Correct. They were going to do areas with the too, right?
I don't know the answer to that. I haven't been involved in too many discussions.
That's what they said.
No, Adam, I thought you guys would have had last year later in the
I just wanted to make sure.
What's that? I can pick one.
Randy? By the way, opening up that email regarding signs, it's the first thing, it's right at the top, it says 30 days. I'm gonna be speaking at that, when it says comments from council, I'm gonna be really aggressive and say, we're gonna get our public works department to remove all those signs. And I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm gonna say.
Oh, sure.
But I think we should. The ordinance is there.
You're on air. We're on air.
Hello, everybody. Before I get going. All right, we're gonna make this official.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight, and thank you for tuning in. This is call to order, Bristol Township Council meeting, September 17, 2020. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remember all our personnel, our service personnel, all our military, in this country and outside the country fighting for us. All our police, day in and day out fighting for us. All our first responders, always there when we need them. And last meeting, I forgot the president of the school board, former President Earl Brock. He lost his son. And I just want to send a shout out to Earl Brock that we're thinking of him in our moment of silence. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Bowen.
Here.
Vice President Murphy.
Present.
Mr. Antonello. Mr. Blaylock. Mr. Glassen. Mr. Monahan. Mrs. Wagner.
Present.
Thank you. Prior to the starting of the meeting, we met in executive order. Mr. Flagler.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had an executive session where we discussed litigation, personnel, and real estate matters.
Thank you. Monthly reports are available for review in the Township Manager's office. Public comments will be taken on land development and official action items. General comments will be taken during opportunity for residents to address council. Presentations and appointments. Next on the agenda, we have a presentation of monthly awards for exemplary recycling performance.
Sorry, thank you, President Bowen. So as everybody knows, we've been doing this for years. We have one of our recycling coordinators go out and take a look at who's been doing well at recycling, and what we have is 2 residents. We get a supplemented from TD Bank, $25 gift cards, and we appreciate the residents that recycle and assist, with making the township a cleaner, greener place to live. So we have the Latimer family from Patterson Avenue from Croydon, and the Portman family from Bath Road, Bristol.
Come on up.
If you all come up and take some pictures with board president.
Hi, how you doing? Craig Bell. Thank you so much for keeping our township clean and green.
Great job.
Don't feel, you're welcome to stay through the whole council meeting, but don't feel obligated, okay?
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
With all the, I have 2 bags of plastic bags from the store. What happens now? What, besides throwing everything in, that's just setting
Take it back to the store.
You
The
take
store's
back.
recycled.
Did you try to see the store recycle?
well, they just opened it yesterday.
Okay.
And that's the, but I was wondering what happened to them after, you know. what-
After the store takes them, that I don't know.
Oh,
That's out of my basement.
all right.
Huddle up here. Come on, ladies, don't be scared of me. Come on. Tight. Okay. You know what? How about this? You stand over there. I'm going to stand right behind you. How's that?
That's fine.
Thank you again for everything.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Again, thank you so much. Enjoy your gift certificate. Ms. Elton, Township Manager, is there anything else? Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, presentation of accommodations, the Township Fire Department number 225. And we have a resolution we're going to read.
Is 225?
Yes.
Where? They're here?
Are they here?
Yeah, they're coming. They'll come in.
Oh, okay.
Wait for them to come in, if you don't mind. I'm just trying to in and out with the amount of people. That doesn't seem lawful.
No. There they are.
They're going to read the resolution. They're going to read the resolution first, and then you can speak. Yeah, no, you stand up there.
Okay, you all stand up there. And Vice President Cindy Murphy will be reading the resolution of accommodation.
Who we missed?
Do we,
Kevin, do you want to, Kevin? Yes, sir. Do you want to read not read, the situation?
Sure, you want to have that proceed? Okay.
Yeah.
Certainly.
We good? We're good. And this is on. Okay. Thank you for having us tonight, folks. Standing with me tonight, Kevin DiPolito, Bristol Township Fire Marshal. Standing with me tonight are 4 of the gentlemen we're going to be recognizing tonight, along with Chris Short, the Chief of Levittown No. 2 Fire Company, who was the overall incident commander of this incident. For those of you who don't know, the township employs a career fire department Monday through Friday to supplement the volunteer fire departments who are primarily at work during the daytime hours. Earlier this year, actually late last year, the 5 fire chiefs, represented by Chief Short of Chief Serrard of the Edgeley Fire Company, came to the township and requested that we expand our hours and our staffing as they needed more assistance during the daytime hours. We made that happen. We started at 6 a.m. at the beginning of this year, so our hours went from 8 to 4:30. Which they had been for the past 10 years. And beginning of this year, we went to 6 a.m. to 4:30, which is, it ended up being a critical decision, and kudos to the volunteer fire chiefs who made that request. On the morning of Friday, August 7th, we were dispatched for a house fire in the Oak Tree section. The gentleman, as I said to my right, firefighter DiPapalo, firefighter Stressman, Deputy Fire Marshal Gerhardt, and firefighter Matthews were on duty that day, staffing Engine 225, the Township Engine Company. They were out the door in approximately a minute, and they were on scene approximately 4 minutes after that. The battalion chief from Levittown 2 Fire Company was on scene just prior to them, reporting fire conditions out the back of the house, and confirmed there was someone trapped inside the home. Just about simultaneously, they executed a plan that ended up working flawlessly. They established a water supply at the hydrant, which was only 1 house away. They stretched a 3/4 attack line to make an attack on the fire. And another part of the crew went in to search for the trapped victim, which was a 40-year-old female. With fire actually coming at them from two different directions, which was the hallway to the right and the bedroom in front of them. They made an attack on the fire and also kept it at bay so that another gentleman of the crew, which was firefighter Stressman, could go to the left and do a search. The victim was located unconscious in a bedroom in a heavy smoke condition. She was pulled off the bed, out of the house, and turned over to medics. She was unconscious, barely breathing, and long story short, she was transported to an area hospital, transferred to Philadelphia, where she spent 7 days in Jefferson and was released shortly thereafter and made a full recovery. So there's a lot of credit that belongs here. Of course, the volunteer fire chiefs who asked for the additional assistance, and of course the crew that was working that day that made this rescue. And I might add that while they were making the attack on the fire, the hose actually burned through because of the fire conditions coming at them from two different directions. But they were able to hold their ground so that TJ could make the search. And I might also point out that, yes, we are paid firemen, but we're all volunteers as well. Todd DiPapalo, who was with 3rd District, is a Bristol Borough fireman. TJ had been with Edgeley and is the chief of Parkland and Middletown. Brian is the deputy chief of Newtown, and TJ is with the Warrington Fire Company, previously a lieutenant with Westchester. So although, yes, we are career firefighters during the day, we're also volunteers, and I'll be honest with you, that's where a lot of our training comes from, is the volunteer fire service. So, turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, first we're going
Well, you've said it all, though, Kevin. But we do have a resolution of commendation of the Township Council of Bristol, Bucks County, honoring the Bristol Township Fire Department Engine 225 with a life-saving commendation. Whereas in September 2019, Bristol Township had been asked by the chiefs of the volunteer fire companies to extend the hours of the paid fire department. And whereas on January 1, 2020, Township Engine 225 extended their hours to begin their shift at 6 a.m. And whereas on August 7, 2020, there was a house fire dispatched at 6:14 a.m. Whereas the crew working Township Engine 225, Deputy Fire Marshal Brian Gerhard, firefighters, fire inspectors Thomas Stressman, Todd DiPapalo, and Daniel Matthews responded immediately. And while responding, were advised there may be someone trapped in the house. Whereas Engine 225 arrived on scene at 6:19 a.m., and the crew split in two, making an attack on the fire and searching for the trapped victim simultaneously. The crew of Engine 225 located the victim on a bed and pulled the victim out. And now, therefore, be it resolved, Deputy Fire Marshal Brian Gerhard, firefighters, fire inspectors Thomas Stressman, Todd DiPapalo, and Daniel Matthews' actions qualify for a life-saving award. And further resolved, the Township Council of Bristol Township hereby recognizes and appreciates Township Engine 225 for their quick actions on August 7, 2020, and continued service and dedication to the Bristol Township community. Duly resolved the 17th day of September.
Yes.
We're gonna have to move in.
Is there broad shoulders?
I'll stay on the end. No, I'm bringing Joe in. It's too far.
Yeah, family members, you can come up if you want to take pictures.
I'm smiling. Yeah.
Wait, do they want to take a picture? There's somebody else.
All right, thanks, Alex. Thank you.
So for these, Joe has the checks. He's going to call each one up and they're going to declare. Yes. So I use.
Thank you again for everything you guys do for the township and the residents.
No, that's not gonna be.
And I just want you to know, I just want you guys to know you're happy to stay through the whole meeting. Oh, we got one more thing?
We got one more.
Oh, I see why. So next on the agenda is presentation of the grants to the volunteer fire companies and rescue squads. Glassing grants. The glassing grants. Yep. First up is Bucks County Rescue Squad. So, a little history. The fire companies are always short on money, and rescue squad. And this was a way, just to, out of our general budget, we could add a little money to everybody, especially for everything they do for our township. So, thank you. This is Bucks County Rescue Squad. Thank you. Next is Levittown Fairfield Hills Rescue Squad. Next, we have Edgeley Fire Company. Hey, Chief.
Right, and there's that.
Levittown Fire Company number 2.
There, if you want it.
Next is Croydon Fire Company. Good week. Next is 3rd District. And the last, and my favorite, sorry, Newportville Fire Company. Okay. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you all for coming out. Very much appreciate everything you fellows do, women, fellows, everybody does for our community. Thank you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Next up is on the agenda is McGrath Builders. It's an informal sketch plan discussion. Take it off. I can't hear you. I would appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to be here tonight. My name is John Torrente. I want to thank the board, or I should say council, for their time tonight. I was looking at your agenda, and it seems to be pretty busy. So I'll be short, concise, and to the point with the presentation. So again, my name is John Torrente. I represent McGrath Homes on this project. I'd like to introduce two people. I'll just call them part of the development team. John McGrath, who is, where'd he go? Over here. Okay. And Kyle Fink of Kelly and Close Engineers, he's the engineer on the project. So what I plan to do is just kind of outline the site locations that we're talking about tonight during the presentation, and then specifically the commonality of product that Grath Homes is going to be, planning to construct on all three sites. And then the last part, I'll go through what you can see up on the board here is the two sketch plans before you. One is for what would be the old John Fitch Elementary School project or site, and then the George Washington site. Okay. John does have some boards. We could bring them up closer for you if you would like us to do that. But I guess, while he's doing that, the three sites that we're talking about.
I'm going to interrupt you just one second.
Sure, Mr. President.
We know what it's about, but people at home do not know. So, what is the sketch plan being proposed is for the abandoned schools?
Yeah, there's three schools, Mr. President, specifically. One is the John Fitch Elementary School site, the George Washington Elementary School site, and the Abraham Lincoln Elementary School site. Fitch is in the Stony Brook section. Washington is in the Crabtree Oak Tree section, and Plum Ridge section is where Lincoln is located. Okay. We do have, like I said, sketches for two of the sites. We're currently working on the Lincoln site, but the product is going to be very similar. It's going to be a combination of apartments, the quad concept that Mr. McGrath has worked with for the last 25 years in various communities throughout Bucks County, villas of Shady Brook, villas of Newtown, villas of Riverview, and villas, of Flowers Mill, and then a flat concept as well. So, some aspects of all three sites that are common to it, they're all infill developments, okay? They're all going to have a clubhouse, they're all going to have a pool, they're all going to have, it's going to be buffered on the outside, very similar concepts. Lincoln may be different than what we're going to explain or show council and the audience. The apartments on Lincoln may be in the interior, while on Washington and on Fitch, they'll be on the outside of the property. One of the reasons that we're proposing it that way is because there's a significant existing buffer on the Fitch and Washington sites from the neighboring communities. So they felt that the apartment buildings on that location would be better. So the quad concept is, again, it's unique, and these are not going to be your typical townhome type of residences. They're quads. They each have their own driveway, 2-car garages. They're going to have lots. The lots are going to be 3,500 square feet, which is, I would say, from a typical townhome community where that's not the case. So, with regards to each site, I should back up. There's going to be a homeowners association for each development, taking care of basically everything. The lawns, the streets, the stormwater basins, everything. Trash, of course, yes, trash. So with that said, if we could pull up the Fitch sketch plan, if you could. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna. Can I grab that microphone? Maybe easier for me to. Okay, so I'm just going to walk up to the screen and here. Now, this is the Fitch property. The quads are on the outside here. Some in the interior. There's the clubhouse.
I'm going to try to make it.
Yeah. Clubhouse and pool are basically somewhat in the middle of the site. Okay, 3 apartment buildings near the creek in this buffer. Okay, 3 stories. Okay, 36 units in each building. The number of quads that we're proposing for Fitch is 72, 20 flats, and 108 apartments in those 3 buildings, okay? The Fitch property is about 17 and a half acres. Washington is also about 17 and a half acres, and then Lincoln's just shy of 10 acres. So, the Fitch property, you can see I guess, an etched line there, I guess the north side of the sketch plan, okay? Kyle, can you mind pointing that out? Yeah, okay. There's an existing playground there, and that's actually a parcel that's owned by the township, okay? We would like to purchase that property from the township, okay? Improve the existing playground there, put a half-court basketball court, and then basically what we would do is dedicate that, if council's inclined, back to the township, okay? So that would be, something for, the Bristol community. While I'm on that part of it, I'd like to shift over to Washington real quick. You can see, I guess, at the narrow portion of the property, you see a softball field. There are existing softball fields, or were existing softball fields on the John Fitch property. We're proposing to, I guess, provide a softball field for the community, and that's about 3 acres there. We would dedicate that back to the township. It would have its own parking. Mr. McGrath would, construct that ball field along with the playground on that existing township-owned property. Along with, having the pool and the clubhouse on this site. Those are the types of amenities that, McGrath Homes is looking to provide to, the residents of not only these communities, but to, Bristol Township in general. The parking requirements, the parking spots that we have here, I guess while we're on Washington, I'll just stick to Washington. This property would have about 363 spaces. Okay, there would be 186 units. Again, the quad concept, the flats, and the 3 apartment buildings. Flats where there would be 20, quads there would be 38 units. So, again, the apartments would be, I guess there's a natural buffer along the apartment building property line. So that's why, Mr. McGrath had, designed it in that fashion. There are, we believe there's ample parking on the site, specifically with the quads. I want to highlight this quad concept. With the quads, if you look at Villas of Shady Brook and other developments where this product was used, there's really no parking on the street. And the reason why is the garages, 2 cars in the garage, and you can fit 2 cars for each unit on or in the driveway, okay? As opposed to your townhouse or your condo type residence. So the exterior of the property will be, there'll be a 6-foot high, it'll be see-through, but it'll be a black aluminum fence if you're familiar with some of the other developments that Mr. McGrath has constructed. It won't be continuous around the whole property, but there'll be berms and it'll be buffered all the way around. So as far as sight lines from the existing neighborhood around the community, Mr. McGrath is attempting to, buffer that buffer that new development, and specifically the sight lines of the residences that are already there, specifically having to do with the apartment buildings. So they pretty much are not seen, from anywhere but except for on site.
Right, and for those of us around here, that St. Joe's Court, he didn't. So when we see St. Joe's Court on New Falls Road.
Yeah, St. Joe's Court has the apartments and the flats. It has some townhomes. The one thing, it doesn't have the quad concept that John's carrying over from his other villa communities. But it's, yes, the apartments will be almost identical.
And the flats are, that's all one floor?
Flats are 2 floors. There is top and bottom.
St. Joe's concept, it's just like the ones.
Yes,
All right.
exactly.
Good enough.
Yes. So, Mr. McGrath is here. If the council wouldn't mind, he's going to go into his experience with constructing, the senior housing, especially with this quad concept, and what really this type of concept brings to, the communities that he has built over the years. So.
And these are 55 and older?
Yes, they are 55.
Okay. So before you start, I just want to clarify Craig's question. So it's age restricted 55 and older. There's no exceptions to that? No. All right. It's 55 and older, but we're not bringing in school kids. Got it. So it's age restricted for sure. Got it.
Is that green light on? Yeah. Yes, please. That's okay. Joe turned it off.
All right. We're good now, right? Yep. All right. I'm John McGrath from McGrath Homes, and thanks for having us here tonight. I won't be long. I know you got a big night here. Thank you. I want to summarize a few things. On that 4 acres, we're going to give back the 4 acres, but I already checked into the playground stuff with the same people you bought your stuff at the new park, and I figured, we'll put a good $100,000 in brand new equipment and everything, and that's going to be fenced and buffered and all that, and we'll take care of the buffer, forever there. But one thing I like to say about this, we come in an area, we try to research the area pretty good. What's the need for doing the senior community? And what I discovered is, this area, Bucks County, is one of the oldest counties in the United States. The over 50, normally if I do, if 15% of the population is over 50, that's a pretty good area for me to go. It's close to 30, over 30% here. And what I identified also when we landed in St. Joe's is you kind of needed 3 different products, I felt, from our marketing people. The townhouses with garages, and then there's the flats, we call them, 2-bedroom, and then the senior apartments, And also, I would like the community to know, I've been on foot in the communities with the plan, trying to educate the people that are, especially the people that are immediately affected by our developments, to let them know that we don't just come into neighborhoods, because there's going to be truck traffic and all that. We run the job doesn't run us. We built communities up in Newtown where we had to go through 2 neighborhoods. All the drivers are notified you can't speed. If you do, you get fined $500 from your company, and there's no negotiation. Never had any problem at all building 172 homes, going through some major neighborhoods. Also, I'm going to continue to go on foot with over at Abraham Lincoln. I have a meeting scheduled for Wednesday night, 5 to 7, to go over the sketch plan for that community. But these kind of communities, what I've learned, I've been doing it for 25 years. Out of these communities, you're putting a lot of people, seniors together of the same age, and there's a lot of volunteerism that comes out of here. There's a lot of goodwill. I hate to say it, there's a widow club like Flower Mills. Shady Village and Shady Brook formed their own Rotary Club, the Village of Shady Brook, and there's a lot of really good things that come out of these kind of communities. And Over in St. Joe's, in the townhouse, the average age was 62. In the apartments, senior residence apartments was 70. It's like 77. And most of the residents in there, it's just five. I think it was like 5 or 6 out of the 44 people that are in there right now have partners. They're by themselves. So it's a big need because we're living longer, and they say we don't need assisted care till we're 86, 87, which is my group, So hopefully that's a little older. But that's all I have. Appreciate coming here tonight. We're going to continue on trying to work with the public.
Thank you, Mr. McGrath, for bringing that sketch plan and the engineer. Engineer, thank you for bringing that tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, I was, if there are any other questions, we could, okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Rainey out. For the sketch plan? Yeah. Go ahead. Really nothing. It's just present.
Well, I wanted to take my opportunity. I was at the Prezo. It's very well thought out. He has professionals that work just within his company, and the school district really needs this project. So I hope you favorably look at this with a great open mind. It's got to be. It'll help us out greatly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Gallus.
I'm getting text messages that there's heavy echoing through our microphones, through Facebook, YouTube, and on Channel 45.
Well, I'm wondering if it was when Joe was speaking in the microphone. That's why I asked him to turn the one off.
Okay, got it.
Text them and see if they're still happening.
And we do have there's a link now so people can watch it on YouTube.
Live streaming. Oh, I didn't tell council that. Yes, we are live streaming.
Yes, we're live streaming. Is there a way to share that link so people can talk?
It's on Facebook and our website.
Okay, great. Thank you. She says it's still echoing. Okay. Yeah, got it. Okay, moving right along, we have ordinance and resolutions coming up. We have a ton of grant applications.
We have blight.
Oh,
Blight
geez, I'm moving too fast here. I'm sorry, Robert. That's okay. It's twice I did that. Presentation on blighted properties. We're honored to have Robert McTague.
Bob McTagg, Building Planning Supervisor. Let's give you a brief update on the blight program. We began with 204 properties in 2015, November. We're down to 66 as of today. 66. We had 2 on the schedule tonight, but since we went to Planning Commission, one of the properties, 1833 Hazel Avenue, they made tremendous progress, and all the code enforcement is now in compliance. So that one's all for tonight. We got 22 Butternut Road in Levittown, PA for tonight, recommendation. We had ongoing issues with the property since 1989, all under the same owner. Earliest vacant complaint we have documented was 2015. We've been cutting the grass several times, recently boarded and secured the property. Roof on the property is deteriorating both front and back. Soffits collapsed and siding's falling off the house. We sent multiple notices to the property owner with no response. First notice was sent in February, 2 in May, and 1 in June. Blake Committee voted August 18th of 2020. Planning Commission then voted on August 19th of 2020. And we're here today in front of council. House is currently owned by the USA Veterans Affairs, and we're working with the RDA and Congressman Fitzpatrick's office to speed up that process. Some pictures of what the property looks like today.
Right, so this is the same situation that we had at 9 Mallow, where the RDA can, not that they won't, they cannot condemn U.S. Veterans Association property. So Bob and Jeff from the RDA and their Forsyth site has started working on that progress now, so we don't have the same lag that we had. It was a great effort, but it was a long lag for 9 Mallow Drive.
That's all I have, Council.
That's it. All right.
He'll be back. He'll be back
We
in.
need a motion to blight?
No, that's on the consent agenda for the
Okay,
resolution.
got it, okay.
How many was it total? I'm sorry.
Started with 2,000.
No, the current one.
60, just one tonight. We have 66 left.
Yeah,
Next month we have.
Mr. Mattia will be back. Yeah, Mr. Mattia will be back next month with about a dozen.
Blue Ridge?
Thank you, Council.
Blue Ridge.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. McTeague, thank you. Thank you for dressing up tonight.
Looking sharp.
Look good? Thanks. Okay, now we're moving on to the ordinance and resolutions. I'm okay, right? Following the agenda here? All right. Okay. I'm going to read all the grant applications, and then Randy Elton's going to comment on each one, and then we'll make a motion. So we're going to read them through, and number A is a resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for renovations to the locker rooms, bathrooms, and fitness area for the police department in the amount of $400,000. Next, we have a resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for upgrade at Mill Creek, Bristol Oxford Valley Road to the amount of $199,000. Resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for 5 wireless cameras for the police department in the amount of $67,500. Resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for a dedicated server for digital evidence storage in the amount of $20,000. Resolution authorizing the township manager to submit grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for firefighting PPE for township department in an amount of $20,000. Resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for new medical and training equipment for Bucks County Rescue Squad in an amount of $16,544. A resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for equipment supplies for active shooting, mass casualty, training for Levittown Fearless Hills Rescue Squad in the amount of $20,000. Resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for firefighter gear replacement for Edgley Fire Company in an amount of $19,999. Resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for engine room renovations repair for Levittown Fire Company number 2 in an amount of $20,000. Resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for ventilation equipment replacement for Croydon Fire Company in an amount of $20,000. Resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for fire hose, ground ladder, and thermal imaging cameras for 3rd District Fire Company in an amount of $20,000. Resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for structural turnout, gear replacement for Newportville Fire Company in an amount of $20,000. Resolution authorizing the town against graffiti tag to submit a grant application to the redevelopment authority of the county of Bucks for participation in intergovernmental agreement for graffiti removal and litter program in an amount of $199,500. All right. It's all yours, Township Manager Randy Elton.
Thank you, President Bond. I guess since we have an audience and it's good to explain what these grants are for and how they came about, basically this is from the Gaming Act Law. When Parks Casino was built on the racetrack, the redevelopment authority is permissible to receive 1% of the gross terminal revenue from Parks Casino and the racetrack to administer to municipalities in which the gaming facility is located and the county in which it is located, as well as the contiguous municipalities. So once the grant applications that are submitted must address an impact or the impacts on the community associated with the gaming facility operations. We must demonstrate the link between the project and the impacts of gaming and facility operations on the community and why the need is an important priority for the community. So going through, we have going down the list. We have, excuse me, we have the first submission is for the locker rooms and the fitness room. What we have is an area downstairs where the women's locker room for a while now has been since the renovations has been taking in water, and it's a health and safety issue as well as not code compliant, but for both of the locker rooms. So the reason I call it police department is because it's down in the basement in the police department. But the fitness room would be to upgrade for all of the township employees. So we're trying to benefit and promote wellness programs and health and wellness. And we think that that cuts down on sick days, that cuts down on workers' comp issues, relations, and that also allows, especially with the pandemic and the coronavirus, people not going to gyms as much. We want to be able to have an area where our employees are able to benefit to their health as we see fit. The next one, I believe, is for the cameras, and that is for 5 wireless cameras. The reason that we're requesting that is for any areas that doesn't have electricity, so it doesn't have power to it. We're requesting the wireless cameras, and that would be for complaints received on graffiti and vandalism and criminal activity that we receive, again, calls of service on, or we note ourselves. For example, unfortunately, the brand new park that we just built out in, next to our building administration and police department here, again, next to our police department, we have noticed that all the electrical wiring was taken out of all of the light poles. So we just got a quote from Armor for $20,000 to replace all of the wiring. Yes, we can put it into our insurance, but then that also, which we'll be doing, but that also then raises our rates on experience. The park has gone through significant destruction, just even since it's been open. Bollards have been destroyed. There's been a fire set on the trail, which left a significant mark on the paving. Locks are constantly being broken into for the pump station and the concession stand and our field house. So we don't have power out there, we have power out there, but to put in a surveillance camera system, as we have in some places in the township, would be in excess of $100,000. So we are looking for cameras to utilize in areas that don't have power, or that we can just focus on an area in need. The next grant application is for the server for the police department for all stored evidence. It's come down through the district attorney's office that we must keep all evidence of any arrest, whether it goes to prosecution or not, so that's what's come down from the DA's office. So we need a separate server. Anytime that a motor vehicle stops and the cameras are put on for the motor vehicle, or when we go to body cameras, anytime that they are activated, we need to keep a record of every single video. So obviously we need a dedicated server for that. And then the majority of the grants are, the One Signal application, we've been going through and upgrading our traffic signals, which is definitely an issue for travel and on the road. So, this is just to bring it up to standards of today's standards. And I believe the next 8 are for the Bucks, or for the rescue squads and the fire companies. They all submit a $20,000 grant each year to help with equipment needed on their trucks, or annually. And then the last one is for TAG, which is Towns Against Graffiti. They submit every year for multi-jurisdiction grant applications to remove any graffiti that is reported to them, and they work with Bristol, Ben Salem, Middletown, and Falls. So that is the submissions of the grant applications.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent vote.
And I'll second that.
So we have a motion by Mary Ann Wagner, second by Cindy Murphy on the motion. Is there any questions? You can come up.
Sorry, I didn't know.
That's all right.
It's okay.
Okay, this is just a clarification.
Is that green?
Oh, hi, that's, what's that?
Is that button green?
Yep.
Okay.
Can
Vincent?
you all hear me okay? There you go. So my question is about the cameras. You mentioned 2 locations. One was that that spot by the electrical system that has been destroyed, right? And the other one was a public park. Is that right?
No, these are wireless cameras that they won't be fixed. They'll be mobilized as needed for vandalism complaints or graffiti complaints. So it's when we get complaints and we don't have eyes on the road, we can put up the camera.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't know anything about cameras. Are they like installed onto buildings and then moved around when they're needed in other places? Okay.
I mean, maybe not buildings per se, but they're located, maybe on the telephone pole or something of that nature.
Okay.
And then removed and taken to where services are called.
Okay, so I just want to bring up a concern, and I understand the motivation behind this, and that it's not coming out of our money, it's like from grant money, so I appreciate that. When we had a meeting at Freedom Neighborhood 1 a couple of months ago about racism in law enforcement and things of that nature, one of the common complaints was that there's cameras all over low-income and Black communities. And I'm not sure if that complaint came from people living in Bristol Borough, Bristol Township, because it's a lot. And so I just think that's a consideration. Just to go a little bit more specifically, they mentioned their kids growing up and being watched all the time and made to feel, that they are a threat growing up. And I understand that this is to prevent property damage, but I think that it's just a good thing to think about. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
On the motion, or is there any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Moving right along. Consider approval of voucher list requisitions dated September 17, 2020, in amount of $1,954,489.54. Consider approval of August 13, 2020 council meeting minutes. A resolution declaring 22 Butternut Road, Levittown, tax parcel number 05-036-153 as blighted in accordance with the urban redevelopment law.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Patrick Antonello, second by Mary Ann Wagner. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have a report from Township Manager.
Thank you, President Bowen. First order of business, we have been contacted by Lower Bucks Joint Municipal Authority about water line replacements and the fact that it's a unique situation with the water line replacements, that they're in the right of way, but they're actually under the sidewalk. They're not typically on the shoulder of the street or in the grass area. So they have, and so with their water line replacements requires also a full rebuild of the sidewalk. So it's a sidewalk replacement as well. So with that, them being a nonprofit, utility company, it's a little bit more unique than our other Picos or Comcast or Verizons coming in here, or Aqua even, for the water line replacements. So they were talking about permit fees and if there's anything the township can do for consideration. Right now, they're currently replacing 3,000 linear feet of water lines in Blue Ridge. And so we looked at the permit calculation, and I was, I said that I could come in and ask council respectfully if they would think that maybe do a 25% reduction. We have that on nonprofits for building permits. We don't necessarily have it for road opening permits, but this is in the same line of consideration again, nonprofit, and the township is benefiting by getting a sidewalk replacement.
Okay. Do we need a motion?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Motion by, let's clear the motion up. It's a 25% reduction for Lower Bucks Joint.
For the road opening permits.
For road opening permit, nonprofit. Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Marion Wagner, second by Pat Antonello on the motion. Is there any questions about the reduction? Call to board? Oh, no, never mind. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Anything else?
Yes. So as we know, we've been here, that Lower Bucks for Change has been coming in and asking questions, and thought it would be a good time to have the discussion of some of the questions that they've asked for, that we can answer right now, or things that we can have a discussion on. So one of the questions that was asked was about the police budget, and possibly looking at what the police budget entails, line item by line item, as well as, what can we do, if anything, to help with and assist with mental health issues, having mental health officers, et cetera. So I have the police budget up here on the screen, and I just wanted to express that there are. I can't get it all to fit on the screen at one time, but I did create a tabulation to the left that anything that has the red C is contractual obligations. And I don't have the police, the bargaining agreement, the PBA's contract with me, and we are on, this year we're in contract negotiations for next year. But anybody wants to do a right to know, they can see the actual police contract and values, individual values. So the majority of the salaries, as well as some of these incentives and the health benefits, they're all, and the pension, they're all contractual obligations that the township is required to have. The bottom portion of the budget is pretty bare bones of what is required to run a police department of this size, for the size of a municipality. You have your normal operating supplies, which for the police department. The police department, that would be replacement of batteries or DVDs, CDs, camera cards, traffic safety supplies, first aid supplies, evidence collection supplies, which would be rubber gloves, evidence bags, etc., and evidence processing chemicals and powders, and locksmith expenses for vehicles and safes. So that would be that line item. We have 3 canine officers, so the canine is for expenses and food, veterinary exams, annual other medical costs for the canine, and for obviously the fuel expense is what we have for all the cars. The uniforms is what we have for new uniforms, and actually I should probably put that down as a contractual obligation obligation, because that is part of that for cleaning, et cetera. Safety equipment is typically ballistic vests and firearm training and qualification expenses, targets, rifle programs that are required for certifications, et cetera. And small tools and equipment is replacement of taser batteries, cartridges, AED components, flashlights. So those, we have a legal department for the police department, minimal for printing, repair, and maintenance would be for operation of the building, dues and subscriptions. So we have contracted services and training seminars. Those are to actually run the police department. Those are required services. And then the bond payment is over a decade ago, we refinanced the police pension, which again is an obligation for the township to provide. And so that is that payment for annual payments. So I just wanted to go over that in greater detail, from the time of the recession, I think in 2008, most municipalities in Bristol is no different, really took a hard look at the budget and has been continuously bare bones, working with what they can, patching until you can no longer patch. And so, I firmly believe that this is a budget that, for the size of the municipality and the this is what is needed, minimally, without any fluff. And I also looked into talking with the chief and the lieutenant about officers and number of officers per service areas. And in the statistics, it has for populations of at least 25,000, it's usually an average of 16.8 officers for every 10,000 residents. So Bristol Township is a population of 53,625, and we have 62 officers. If we go by that standard, we should have about 8. And our surrounding municipalities in Middletown has a population of 45,000 with 56 officers. Falls has 33,000, population 34,000 with 52 officers, and Bensalem, this report stated that it's a population of 60,000 with 99 officers, which again, today they have over 100 officers, about 110, and actually, unfortunately with retirements and issues and our police department, we're actually probably down to about 52 sworn officers. So, and then the last point I wanted to bring up, and I firmly believe that Vince and Lieutenant Johnson and myself should sit down and look at the statistics together. But for racial profiling in the township, in Bristol Township alone. So the point is we're a reactive department, and due to the low number of officers, and since the economic downturn, we've experienced about 23% decrease in personnel, experienced decreased self-initiated arrests and ticketing. So police officers don't get to choose their calls of service, and they also don't get to choose what the race is, or the locations, or any of the call types as for the calls of service. No different than an emergency room. The doctors and the ER staff have to treat whoever comes in, and that's what the township does as well. So based on those facts and circumstances, I believe, as well as our police department, that the allegations of racial profiling are without merit. So those are some of the questions that we've been asked. Under council's direction, I researched it, and I wanted to bring it up for discussion or presentation.
No, we certainly appreciate you getting all that detail and sharing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from the township? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Next one, report from Township Solicitor, Mr. Flag.
I'll keep it brief as I like to do. Just a friendly reminder to get your flu shot. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move on to new business. Any other new business? Okay, we'll go to application of Anthony Phyllis Circle LLC requesting preliminary and final land development approval in order to construct a 151,115 square foot warehouse building and parking on the property located on Phyllis Drive, Croydon, tax parcel number 5-52-96-003, number 5-52-96-004, and 5-52-96-005 in the N2 Heavy Manufacturing Zone District. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Name?
My name is Caroline Edwards. I'm the attorney for the applicant, Anthony Phyllis Circle, LLC. I'll introduce the property if that's all right. We're here before you tonight on two sites for land development and one site for subdivision approval, which is one of the land development sites.
Can you bring the mic down closer to you so they'll be able to hear you?
Is that better?
Yes.
I am going to ask if we could present on all three together because it's going to make a lot more sense. The properties really work together and we're just going to be doing a lot of repetition otherwise. So, thank you. This is a request for land development in an industrial park, Holly Industrial Park, that's located at the corner of River Road and Cedar Avenue. This is a project that started in the late 1990s, and the properties that are before you tonight are the last properties owned by the developer of that industrial park. So he's selling those final two parcels to my client. We're looking forward to completing the build-out of this project. It's been going on for about 20 years, so I'm sure the township is happy to see this being completed also. As you mentioned, it's zoned M2 industrial. We have two sites within that industrial park that are in for land development plans. And we have the pages numbered on the PDF, if you can see it. If you can go to page 6, please. There we go. So this is the first property that's in for land development. We call it Phyllis Circle because it's got frontage on Phyllis Circle. This is 3 parcels that were part of the industrial park that are being combined to make one property that we propose to have developed for a 151,000 square foot warehouse. The total of those 3 parcels together is about 10 acres. Can you please turn to page 10? This is the second parcel that's being developed. It is, we call it Anthony Circle because it's right there on the circle. This is proposed to be developed not for a building, but for parking, trailer parking associated with the warehouse. This property is about 3 acres in size. So there would be trailer parking and storage, but nobody coming in from the outside. It would only be related to the warehouse use. Could you turn to page 2, please? So I wanted to show you this property because this shows you the 2 sites and how they relate to each other. The kind of large brown rectangle is the proposed building. Located on Phyllis Drive that runs along the frontage of that, right across. Perpendicular is Anthony Circle that goes to the property with the parking. So you can see how those properties relate to each other and how they're perfect for this cooperative use, using those 2 parcels in concert. So as I stated, this is going to be, the proposal for development is a modern warehouse. The types of jobs that we anticipate would be provided by this use are management, office workers, tech and tech support, warehouse workers, forklift operators, and drivers. That's typically what you'd have with this type of a use. Our estimate is that there will be at least 100 employees and possibly up to 125, depending on how the operator sets up the warehouse. Our expectation is that local Bristol Township residents will be working at this location. It's not going to be people being brought in from the outside. Currently on the Phyllis Drive property, the tax payments, the property tax payments now are about $42,000 a year. If it's developed as a warehouse use, our estimate based on other comparables in the area are that the taxes would be $247,000 in that area.
Did you hear that, Mr. President School Board?
And then, of course, in addition to that, there'd be the taxes that would come from the employees at the site also, which we estimated about $41,000 a year. So we feel that this use would be a benefit to both Bristol Township and to its residents for both jobs and tax revenues. One last point I want to make on the land development. If you look at that property, you see that there are streets, obviously, that access these parcels. Those streets are currently they're currently actually still owned by the developer. There was no provision made for the ongoing maintenance of those streets. So one of the things that we've discussed with township staff is the dedication of those roadways, as well as the sanitary sewer pumping station that's located on this site. My client is willing to improve the roadways and improve the pumping station up to the standards required by Bristol Township in order to do that. We think that overall that would be a real benefit because, one, it's going to attract the type of person that you want to be operating a warehouse. A high-end warehouse is looking for dedicated streets and things like that, not something where there are private roads that they can't, that guarantee will be maintained. If you wouldn't mind turning to page 14.
I'm sorry, what
14, please. And I just want to talk a minute about the subdivision proposal. So this is the subdivision plan that I'm talking about. The gray parcel there is the Anthony Circle parcel that is proposed to be developed for the trailer storage and parking. The kind of greenish, or I'm sorry, the lighter gray, parcels are the parcels that we propose to subdivide off the Anthony Circle parcels. The reason for that is when the survey was done on this property, it became apparent that at least there are several properties in which the residential owners had constructed some structures on the property rather than just say get them off. My client thought that the right thing to do would be to subdivide that and offer those to those adjoining property owners. It would be deeded at no cost to them. So what we did was, rather than not everyone has a building on it, but there's some fences and that sort of thing. We try to make it a straight line. And we made sure that we adhered to the setback requirements, provided enough space so that those buildings were set back in conformity with the Bristol Township ordinances. So that's what the subdivision proposal is. Those are not going to be standalone lots. They will be merged with the adjoining residential lots. So I'm here tonight representing the applicant. We also have Mr. Marty Wade, who is the applicant's project manager, and we have Peg Kreiser from Dumac Engineering.
So one question I have is, of course, we know Minot Avenue is a heavy water problem already, and it seemed it got worse with some of the other commercial industrial development up the street. Have you looked at that to address that situation?
We absolutely have looked at that, and that's been a pretty important part of the proposal. I'm going to ask Peg to speak to that because she can get more into the technical aspects, but that's something from the very beginning that we were aware of, and we wanted to try to address that issue. Peg, do you mind? I think you have to use the mic.
Yeah. Can you go to the Anthony? You gotta turn it. Oh. Hello? Is it on? No, just a second.
I'm sorry, I thought I turned it on.
Do you want the Anthony Circle land development plan? Okay. It's 10.
Hello? Oh, it's working now, yeah? I'll just talk really loud.
No, you can't, you have to.
Maybe go.
Because of the broadcasting.
Oh.
They can bring another mic out.
Or I could just go over there.
Yeah, or you
There's
just
one
go.
under here, but I think it's
That works.
Hello?
Hello?
Is it working?
Is it working?
I think.
There he comes.
Is that on?
Take off my yeah, it looks
Yeah,
on.
it's on.
There.
Hello? All right, technology.
Or I could just stand right here. and talk.
Yes.
I'll just stand here and talk.
Mm-hmm.
If you look on the site where you see the line of evergreens coming down, right beside the subdivided portions, right in there, we're putting in an entire swale to pick up all the water, and we're actually wrapping it around the upper corner and bringing it down and taking it into the detention basin so that we pick up any of the water, because the water was coming off the site and going into the backyards of the residents. So, yes. So, we're bringing it down. Some of it's going there and some going down into the existing swale, but we are picking it up and addressing that and cleaning up that whole area, which has a lot of debris and dead trees and whatnot. So, we are going to resolve the drainage issue in that area, so. And then we also have the evergreens, and that's gonna berm up, so that's gonna screen any headlights coming across. Plus, we are up a lot higher, and with the berm, they're not gonna be able to see any of that trailer parking from those residences. So, the berm is gonna help reduce noise going to that area. The plant material is gonna reduce visual, issues, and then the swell is going to pick up any drainage issues, so.
Will that be a 24-hour operation?
Well, it's only when the trailer's full.
It depends on how that will.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. We don't have a tenant just yet, so we don't know. Okay.
So, probably not. They're just going to put trailers there until they have room to put them in the other one, so they're just going to park them, so. Any other questions?
Nope, that's it. Mr. Schroeder, I know you reviewed this in the planning, Bucks County Planning Commission has.
Yeah, we did. I mean, the conditions of the approval are outlined in the resolutions prepared by Flagger's office. So we're supportive of this project.
Okay. So we need a motion. Motion by Mary Ann Wagner, second by John Monahan. Hi, John. Good to see you. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Okay, we'll move right along. Application of Anthony Phillips Circle LLC requesting preliminary and final subdivision land development approval for trailer parking and storage incidental to warehouse use on a property located at Anthony Circle, Croydon, tax parcel number 5-52-96-007 in an M2 heavy manufacturing zone district.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Cindy Murphy.
Second.
Second by Joe Glass. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Application of Anthony Phillips Circle LLC requesting final subdivision approval to create parcels to be offered to and merge with adjoining lots on the property located on Anthony Circle on Minot Avenue, Croydon tax parcel number 5-52-96-007 and M2 heavy manufacturing zone district. Motion by Miriam Wagner.
I'll second.
Second by Cindy Murphy. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Good luck.
Yep, good luck. Thank you. Thank you for investing in Bristol Township. Don't forget our local trades when you're going out to bid. And recognition of President of School Board, Jim Morgan's here, Gallus Obert. And we got there's some more revenue coming your way. Thank you. Thank you.
And we strongly recommend you look into local contractors
Yeah, that's
and unions.
Next, we have a 2020 financial requirement minimum municipal obligation for Bristol Township Police pension plan. Randy Elton, Township Manager.
Thank you, President Bowen.
You're welcome.
As mentioned earlier, the pension plan for the police as well as the Bristol Township pension plan are contractual obligations. They must be funded, and we are required to state what our funding is by the end of September for the next year. So for the police. I've lost my paperwork. For the police pension plan, it requires, there's a minimal municipal obligation. Sorry, I really did lose my paperwork. Give me 1 second.
While she's doing it, Ray, how you doing over there? How's things down there? Down there. Good. It's good to see you. I'm glad you came over. Yeah, thanks. We'd like you to show up.
I apologize.
Lieutenant Johnson, Kizadic, Gegatsu Stavajans, huh?
So for the financial obligation for the 2021 year budget, it's based off of annual payroll for the police pension. So the minimum municipal obligation is $1,386,331. That would be my recommendation. There is also the market value of $2,174,763. I think with this year that we have, with the current pandemic and the anticipated loss in revenue, I am not recommending that we fund it per the market value assessment. We are fortunate that our police pension is 95% funded. So again, my recommendation would be for the minimum municipal obligation of $1,396,331.
I'll make a motion that the council approve the township manager's recommendation.
So we have a motion by Patrick Antonello, second by Ray Blaylock. Thank you, Ray, for making that motion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have a 2020 financial requirement minimum municipal obligation for Bristol Township pension plan.
Thank you again. This is for all other employees for the township, and that is a MMO, minimum municipal obligation for $23,257.
Pleasure to board.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Joe Glassen, second by John Monahan. On the motion, is there any questions about the pension? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have bids for 2020-2021 road materials.
Thank you again. This is for the road materials, as you stated, for this year as well as next year. We are in a Bucks County consortium, and after review of the bids, our Public Works Director recommends that we award to Eureka Stone Quarry LLC as they being the low bidder at the rate of hauling for stone is $5.50.
$5
for unit price, yes. I was just looking at it, and then for asphalt, it's $6.50.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sidney Murphy.
Second.
Second by who?
John Monahan.
John. Second by John Monahan. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have bids for 2021 rock salt.
And this is also part of the Bucks County consortium, and the bid tabulations, the low bidder was Morton Salt for $47.75 per ton delivered.
I will make that motion.
Motion by Sidney Murphy. Second by John Monahan on the motion. Is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, we have other business. Any other business? Thank you. Comments from council members? Next.
I do actually have some comments I'd like to make. I know, you're welcome, Cindy.
Thanks, Pat.
I just want to pull something up real quick for reference, and I think it's pretty important. And I know that I've been getting a lot of complaints and phone calls about, because we are in the political season again, and it is an issue for throughout all of Bucks County. And I finally did some research because there's a lot of old wives' tales about how and when political signs are allowed to be erected. There's a couple of issues. There is no state guidance. There is no county guidance. The erection of political signs is strictly up to the individual municipalities. In Bristol Township, we do have an ordinance on the books. That is 164-11. A political campaign sign shall not be erected or posted until 30 days prior to the day of election. That's on the books, and there's one specific candidate in PA1 running for United States Congress who flaunts that year in and year out, and this year he's taken it even further, and he's begun erecting signs close to 60 days before the election. I personally, and I'm an elected official, don't really want to look at signs any sooner than 30 days. Then we have to. So at this point, I'm making an open plea that those signs be taken down, or we will instruct our Public Works Department to gather up each and every sign and dispose of them. That's what we're going to do, because you're breaking the law. So this is a candidate who I'm sure full well knows that he's breaking the law. So stop breaking the law, take your signs down until it's 30 days before the election. Thank you.
Ms. Selton, could you reach out to the Fitzpatrick campaign and see if they take it down? That'd save our Public Works from getting signs.
I agree 100%. They should have the opportunity to take them down.
Thank you.
And I would expect that if the campaign were thoughtful, they'd extend an apology for flagrantly breaking the law.
Thank you, Mr. Anything else from any other council members? Next, we have an opportunity for residents to address council. Public comment on general items will be taken this time following Bristol Township minutes. Sign in with the secretary prior to the roll call of the meeting. Please be courteous to your fellow residents and adhere to a 5-minute limit. Public participation will be limited to 1 hour. Gallus. Good to see you, Gallus. It's been a while.
Good to be seen. Thank you, Mr. Antonello, for that rendering of our local ordinances. It's actually why I got in this business 20 years ago when I threatened to fine Mr. Fenton $1.1 million because he wouldn't take his signs down after Election Day. That ordinance has been there for a while, and I sure hope that we enforce it like our neighboring townships do. They just get their public works guys and go out there and take them down, and they'll give them back to them if they ask for them. So thank you for that. In particular, one that needs to be addressed quickly is the entrance into Magnolia across from the Walgreens, where it blocks the sight line of people coming up, down over the hill, people making a left into Magnolia. That upper entrance, you cannot see cars coming. I just drove that today.
Yeah, and we should have Public Works take that one out now, because it's really a safety issue that should come out tomorrow. Yes.
No, 8x4.
8x4.
And on top of that, the ordinance, I think, reads you have to have it raised 42 inches. They do better, these signs do better if they're lowered to the ground, but they did raise them up another foot, which increases the ability to see cars coming. So, thank you for taking up a bunch of my time. Secondly, I'd like to commend you guys for trusting your experts in the fire company and approving that recommendation to extend the hours. That enabled that resolution to that fire. If you didn't do that, that wouldn't have happened. And who knows how many ongoing lives that might save. So thank you for that. And lastly, I just want to say that this old school projects, we really need this to happen. We need you guys to work as well as you can with this company or any company that comes in to make it better for our community. This is going to realize us close to $1 million a year annualized tax revenue if they're all sold quickly. And without that, we can't continue to drive towards no tax increases yearly. We're trying to keep up and catch up to you guys. I think you're 8 years running. We now have back-to-back, no tax increase. And when I went to the presentation at Fitch, a lot of questions asked are, is there going to be more traffic? The same questions that are reiterated year over year. And we're working on year 3 since this closed. These schools closed, year 4. Are there going to be drug houses there? All these questions that the residents are still concerned with need to be answered, and the answers are no. There's not going to be drug houses there. There's not going to be increases in traffic, and to belay any of those questions, I would ask that the engineer, when we're doing this project, that he request traffic studies from the projects this guy's done before, to see what that number is. I know we have to do traffic studies for all kinds of things, but I don't know if there's one particularly needed here. But if there isn't, I'd ask that we have one done from his previous jobs. So that would take care of that question. And the only other question that residents really ask are the sight lines around the property. What's it going to look like? I'll tell you right now, I drive by St. Joe's and it's just, I don't even know it's there anymore. I knew it was there when it was a Catholic school in Rectory because I was in trouble a lot, and it kind of gives me flashbacks when I saw it, but now it's not there anymore. So I'd ask that you just work with this builder and get this done because we really need it. So thank you.
Thank you, Gals. Thanks for coming out. Good to see you. Good to see you, Gals.
You see, you still have time.
Next, Vincent.
Come on up, Vince.
That is West time. Where's he been?
Did he die?
I haven't checked you, Vince.
Hi, Vincent.
How's it going?
Good.
Okay, so I wanted to start off with a response from last meeting. You all amended the resolution against hate symbol to include hate symbols. We appreciate that, and you asked us what are some other symbols that you think we would like to be included. We had a discussion. I was outvoted, but the people of the group decided that they would like to see swastikas and the Confederate flag as the two featured examples. And so you can do with that what you'd like. That's it for that part. And then secondly, we had some broad approval of having a town hall to discuss policing, and that's amazing. And Randy, we appreciate all the information you've given it to us tonight. And so in terms of the timing for when that might be, we put out a survey for what times might work best for people. We got around 25 responses, and if that many people came, I think that would be a pretty successful night. And Wednesday nights and Thursday nights worked well. And so if it would be possible for the council, for those who are able to make it, to come sometime in mid-October, that would be fantastic. I understand that schedules are tough. And in terms of the form, we were hoping to reach out to a neutral third party like the Peace Center or some officials out of our township to moderate it. And in terms of how the night would look, this is what we would like. There would be an open comment period for the community to talk about some experiences that they've had, their ideas and their concerns, and then once that period ends, a new period would open for dialogue between the council and the community. So that's what we would like. And so is there support for that in the council?
I just, why do you need a moderator?
Oh, just to keep track of time and things. That's it. And like if there is a dialogue, just to make sure that it's not all done one-sided. Like there's time and like it's done in a proper way.
I do agree that there should be some type of moderator in this, and whether it's a completely an outside group or a combination of a community representative, a township representative, and a neutral representative. that might get too complicated. What I do suggest is that we set up some meetings with our township manager, President Bowen, or myself, or whoever wants to, kind of negotiate, put together the appropriate format for a town hall. That would be my suggestion, that we have some talks about what will work best and provide, and what format will provide some outcomes, some stuff that we can build, work with, and, that will be beneficial to everyone concerned.
And if I may, Vince and I had talked last month or the month before, I don't remember times anymore, but
we had discussed,
you providing an agenda. Nobody, not a politician, but no person wants to be blindsided and, asked
and that's what I had said.
And that's what I said to you a couple months ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
We specifically want to know what, not generalized, what's going to be asked, what's going to be talked about, or
calendars might be full.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So, I'm sorry, I missed this aspect, and I was asked to present this as well. So we are going to be inviting people who are not part of the group, obviously. Like, we're going to be advertising this as extensively as possible, but in advance of that, we're trying to hold a meeting in advance where we can discuss some of the things we'd like to focus on. So we will be giving all of the things that we want to discuss, including the information and statistics that we'd be presenting, so that you can scrutinize them yourselves in advance. We don't want to blindside anyone else either, but there will be people who will be coming, sharing their experiences if they've had them, right? And we can't anticipate that, but we're going to do as best as we can in good faith to not try to embarrass anybody, right? We just want to make some solutions. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm good with that. I'm available.
Good. Great.
Yeah, November
sucks. October.
Right.
Believe it or not, we have to you have to meet now if we're going to do mid-October. Like, it has to be now. We have to do the details.
Well, okay.
You guys work on it.
And then
Come to us
I'll
with
reach out
whatever
to you
you
guys
need.
about schedules.
Okay, thank you all. We really appreciate that opportunity. And then I wanted to say very quickly about the presentation tonight. I just want, I'm sorry to end on a sour note, but to scrutinize a little bit the idea that the police are purely,
Finish your thought.
a purely reactive force. We mentioned last time we were here that the data that was provided by the police department to the Attorney General demonstrated that black residents were arrested at twice the rate of white residents for marijuana. And I don't think any of us think that black residents are smoking marijuana twice the rate of white residents. And so, we need to start thinking critically about these issues, That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, and I want to just respond to that in this fashion. I believe we've already asked our solicitor. We've officially asked the solicitor to look into making some changes and decriminalizing marijuana in Bristol Township. So we are moving forward on that path. And again, it does take time. Go ahead, Randy.
Sorry, but decriminalizing small amounts of marijuana.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
We'll start there.
I spoke from hopes, not reality.
Next is Dan, I always screw up this.
Heaven Street. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Come on up, Dan, good to see you again. Thanks for coming out.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. If I may actually pass out a sheet here. This is a sample resolution I wanted everyone to take a look at that was drafted by a member of our group. I do have 6 copies, so there's going to have to be a little bit of sharing, if that's okay.
First, give Flagler the township attorney one, and Randy Elton, and then the rest we can disperse because they're the.
Thank you.
Well, I'll share it with Greg.
All right, thank you, everyone. Good evening. I did want to start the purpose of the resolution here, which is something that I'm sure everyone has seen in the headline, and I wanted to give you a sample of the headline I just found. That says, whistleblower alleges high rate of hysterectomies and medical neglect at ICE facility. And of course,
Do we have an ice facility here? I'm just curious.
I don't believe so. I do not believe so, but you may have seen a version of this in the headline, and I wanted to read this resolution drafted by a member of a group. Whereas Bristol Township Council desires a safe environment for all its citizens, whereas Bristol Township Council wishes to thank law enforcement for being community members whom strive for the best for Bristol Township and community therein, whereas Bristol Township Council understands there is more to the safety of the community than law enforcement, and safety is brought about by the way it is thought of, its philosophy, whereas Bristol Township Council wants a safe community based on neighborliness from the everyday person and guardianship from law enforcement. Therefore, Bristol Township Council rejects a warrior mentality in law enforcement in all forms. Moreover, Bristol Township Council projects direct harm to its people and to all people within and without Bristol Township, because this contradicts the guardianship promised by our neighbors that swear to, quote, protect and serve. Therefore, Bristol Township would like to make a redress on specific practices done by a federal law enforcement institution. Be it resolved, Bristol Township Council denounces immigration and customs enforcement, ICE, because of its sterilization practices. Be it further resolved, Bristol Township Council will not work with law enforcement agencies that actively mutilate, harm, and terrorize those in its custody. Be it further resolved, Bristol Township will move to end any agreements and cooperation with immigration and customs enforcement due to its mistreatment of those in custody. Now, let me just go that we're aware that you have told us, and you pointed out here, that there is currently no communication or agreements between Bristol Township Police and ICE. However, I do want to say that it doesn't hurt to have those sorts of things in writing. And another point I just wanted to say is that we also understand that this is an extremely political time where there are actual serious risks for taking stances like this, believe it or not. But we're talking about an organization here that has proven it has little regard for the most basic human rights and dignity, things a true American and resident of Bristol Township should value. We advocate the passing of this or a similarly worded resolution by Bristol Township Council. So that's all I have, actually.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Just curious, do you need potholes, anything like that needs to be fixed, streetlights out in your area?
No, not at this time.
Okay, that's no problem.
So we have, I neglected to mention this during the manager's report. We are investigating,
about, and I think I've updated most of council on this, about potentially, restricting ICE or condemning, ICE in the township. And I will confirm, I haven't followed through or followed up, but we are pretty sure that would then restrict any federal grants coming in through the township.
So that's what I wanted to address when I talked about that, because it's such a political time that
Under these,
happens to
under
have
the
risks.
current circumstances.
Under the current circumstances, correct.
This is something for the future. I think.
And I agree, listen, I wouldn't want to see nobody, some of them things you have in there, any law enforcement, no matter where it's at. That's pretty sickening, and I can't imagine it happening. So, I didn't mean to throw out about grass or anything, but that's like, I had to deflect off of that because it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
No, I think that people would do that to other people.
We will continue to look into it.
Yeah, but we will look into it.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, Dan, good to see you again.
Thanks.
All right, thanks. Thanks for coming out. Well, we're going to end this meeting tonight. What a packed, fun-filled meeting it was. We got a lot coming into the township and a lot of money going to the school board. Yahoo! Thank you, school board president, for keeping a hold of our taxes. It's been 2 years in a row. Much appreciated. So on that note, I'd like to make a motion to end the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yep. Thank you for coming out tonight. We'll see you in a few weeks.